Have you ever felt like something is silently draining your energy, stealing your joy, and making life heavier than it needs to be? It's not always the big crises that break us. Sometimes it's the little things we do every single day, the habits we don't even notice, that slowly chip away at our mental health. Today, let me take you on a journey. Together, we'll uncover 10 bad habits that may be quietly destroying your mind from the inside out. And most importantly, I'll show you how to break free so you can live with clarity, balance, and strength. 1. Lack of sleep. Imagine trying to run a marathon after staying awake all night. Your legs feel heavy, your vision blurs, and every step feels like dragging chains. That's exactly what your brain goes through when you neglect sleep. It's not just about feeling tired. Lack of sleep chips away at your focus, makes your patience razor thin, and twists your emotions into knots. You wake up groggy, reach for coffee after coffee, and wonder why the world feels heavier than it should. Without rest, your mind becomes like a phone that's never fully charged. It works, but always at 20%, always on the edge of shutting down. And here's the truth. When you sacrifice sleep, you're not gaining more time. You are borrowing energy from tomorrow, and the debt always comes due. Your creativity fades, your relationships suffer, and even small problems feel like mountains. But imagine the opposite. Imagine giving your body and mind the gift of real rest. Waking up refreshed, clear-headed, ready to take on the world with focus and calm. Sleep is not laziness. It's the foundation of mental strength. Protect it, and you protect your peace, your balance, your life. Overthinking. Do you ever replay conversations in your head, imagining what you should have said, what you should have done, as if rewriting the past will somehow change the future? That endless loop is called overthinking, and it's like carrying a backpack full of bricks everywhere you go. Heavy, exhausting, but completely useless because it never moves you forward. Overthinking tricks you into believing you're solving problems, but in reality, you're just burning energy, draining your peace, and paralyzing yourself with doubt. You lie awake at night staring at the ceiling, reliving every mistake, every awkward moment, every decision you haven't even made yet, until your mind feels like a battlefield you can't escape. And the cruel part? 90% of the things you worry about never even happen, yet they rob you of your joy today. But imagine if you could set that backpack down. Imagine trusting yourself enough to take action without needing every answer in advance. Freedom comes when you stop rehearsing the past and start writing the present. Your mind was never meant to be a prison. It was meant to be a compass. Overthinking builds walls, but trust and courage build doors. Step through them, and you'll find peace waiting on the other side. 3. Negative self-talk. Every time you tell yourself, "I'm not good enough," your mind believes it, because your brain doesn't know the difference between truth and the story you repeat. Words are powerful, and when your inner voice becomes your harshest critic, your confidence begins to crumble piece by piece. Think about it. You would never talk to your best friend the way you talk to yourself on your worst days. Yet somehow you think it's okay to tear yourself down. That voice whispers when you make a mistake, when you look in the mirror, when you try something new, convincing you that you're destined to fail before you even begin. And the more you listen, the smaller your world becomes, because you stop trying, you stop reaching, you stop believing. But here's the truth. Your inner voice can be your greatest enemy, or it can be your greatest ally. Imagine flipping that script. Imagine telling yourself, "I am learning, I am growing, I am enough." Confidence doesn't come from perfection. It comes from choosing to stand by yourself even when you stumble. Silence the critic, amplify the encourager, and you'll discover a strength that has always been waiting inside you. 4. Skipping exercise. Your body is designed to move, yet so often we treat movement like an optional luxury instead of a daily necessity. When you skip exercise, your energy doesn't just pause, it stagnates, and slowly your brain chemistry begins to suffer. You feel heavier, slower, and even simple tasks start to feel overwhelming because your body and mind are not aligned. Exercise isn't just about building muscles or burning calories. It's medicine for your mind. Each step you take, each drop of sweat you shed is like pressing a reset button on your stress, releasing natural chemicals that lift your mood and clear your thoughts. Think about the last time you went for a walk or a run. How different did the world feel afterward? Problems seemed lighter, your perspective brighter, and your spirit calmer. Movement is the most accessible therapy in the world, yet it's the one we most often ignore. You don't need a gym, you don't need hours of training. Sometimes 10 minutes of stretching, dancing, or walking can change the entire direction of your day. Remember this, when you choose to move your body, you are choosing to free your mind. Don't skip it, because your peace, your focus, and your joy depend on it. 5. Poor eating habits. Food is fuel, yet so many of us treat it like entertainment or a quick fix for stress rather than the foundation of our well-being. Imagine putting dirty gasoline into a luxury car. It might run for a while, but eventually the engine clogs, the performance drops, and the machine breaks down. That's exactly what junk food does to your brain and body. A poor diet doesn't just affect your waistline. It fuels anxiety, sharpens mood swings, and clouds your thoughts until every decision feels harder than it should be. You might wonder why you're tired all the time, why you can't focus, or why small problems feel overwhelming. But the truth often lies in what's on your plate. Processed sugar spikes your energy and then drops it. Greasy meals inflame your body, and too much caffeine keeps your nerves on edge. But here's the beauty. The opposite is also true. Whole foods, fresh vegetables, fruits, clean proteins, they are like premium fuel for your brain, giving you clarity, stability, and calm. Every meal is a choice between fog and focus, between chaos and balance. Treat your body like the masterpiece it is and feed it with respect, because the state of your mind is written by the food you choose every single day. 6. Constantly comparing yourself. Scrolling through social media, you see everyone's highlight reel, the vacations, the promotions, the perfect smiles. And without realizing it, you begin to measure your behind the scenes against their polished performances. Comparison is a silent thief. It steals joy from your heart and convinces you that who you are and what you've done is never enough. The truth is, you're comparing your struggles to someone else's edited version of success. A snapshot that hides the tears, the doubts, and the failures they never show. And yet, day after day, you let those images whisper that you're behind, that you're lacking, that you'll never catch up. But here's the secret. Your path is not meant to look like anyone else's. Flowers don't compete to bloom. They simply grow in their own season. Imagine if you shifted your gaze from what others have to what you're building for yourself. Imagine measuring progress not by how far someone else has gone, but by how far you've come from yesterday. The moment you stop chasing someone else's life, you reclaim your own. And in that space, joy returns, peace grows, and you finally realize you were always enough. 7. Neglecting boundaries. Saying yes to everyone while silently saying no to yourself is one of the most dangerous habits for your mental health. Because every time you agree to something you don't want, a small piece of you feels betrayed. At first, it seems harmless. You help a friend, you take on extra work, you smile and say, it's fine, when deep down it isn't. But slowly, resentment builds, burnout follows, and your sense of self begins to fade away. Boundaries are not walls, they are doors that protect your energy, your time, and your peace. Without them, you end up living someone else's life instead of your own. Think about it. How many times have you felt exhausted not from doing too much, but from doing too much of what you never wanted in the first place? Saying no doesn't make you selfish, it makes you authentic. Imagine how light you would feel if you gave yourself permission to choose, to rest, to say, this is enough. When you honor your boundaries, you teach others how to honor you. And in that space, your confidence grows, your energy returns, and your mental health begins to heal. Remember, protecting yourself is not rejection of others, it's respect for yourself. 8. Living in the past. You cannot heal by constantly reopening old wounds. Yet so many of us keep living in the past as if replaying the pain will somehow change the ending. The truth is, every time you cling to regret, you chain yourself to moments that no longer exist. And those chains prevent you from stepping into the life waiting ahead. Living in the past feels safe because it's familiar. You know the hurt, You know the mistakes, you know the story. But safety is not the same as freedom. Regret is like a shadow that grows longer the more you stare at it, and soon it blocks the light of your future. Think about it. How can you write a new chapter if you never turn the page? Healing begins when you stop asking, "Why did it happen?" and start asking, "What can I learn?" Imagine the power of looking at your past not as a prison, but as a teacher. Those moments shaped you, but they don't define you. The past is a place to visit for wisdom, not a place to live. When you let go, even a little, you create space for joy to love and growth to enter. And in that space, your story truly begins again. 9. Multitasking madness. Doing 5 things at once makes you feel busy, but not truly productive. Multitasking tricks your brain into believing you're achieving more, but in reality, it fractures your focus, increases your stress, and leaves you mentally drained at the end of the day. You answer emails while scrolling through social media, half listen in meetings while planning dinner, and before you know it, everything gets done halfway, but nothing gets done well. The truth is your mind was never built to run in 5 directions at once. It thrives in focus, in depth, in presence. Think about it. When was the last time you gave one task your full attention and felt the calm satisfaction of doing it right? Multitasking is like pouring water into too many cups at once. Every cup ends up half empty. But when you pour into one, it fills, it completes, it matters. Imagine how different your life would feel if instead of chasing the illusion of busyness, you embrace the power of focus. Less case reservation, more clarity, less exhaustion, more energy. Productivity isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters, one mindful step at a time. 10. Ignoring self-care. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's survival. Yet so many of us wear exhaustion like badge of honor, convincing ourselves that constantly giving, constantly hustling, constantly pushing means we're strong. But here's the truth. When you neglect rest, hobbies, or quiet moments, your mental health doesn't just get tired. It slowly starves, leaving you drained and empty inside. Self-care isn't about luxury spa days or expensive retreats. It's about pausing long enough to breathe, to listen to your own heart, to recharge the energy that life demands from you every single day. Think about it. A phone that's never plugged in will eventually die, no matter how powerful it is. You are no different. When you ignore your needs, when you silence your passions, when you push through without pause, you don't become stronger. You become weaker, brittle, burned out. But imagine what could happen if you gave yourself permission to rest, to play, to simply be. That's where resilience is born. That's where joy returns. Taking care of yourself is not a distraction from life. It's the foundation of it. Protect it, and you protect the best version of you. These 10 bad habits may seem small, almost invisible in your daily life, but over time they quietly shape the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you live. The beautiful truth is this: you don't have to change everything overnight. Transformation doesn't come from giant leaps. It comes from small steps taken consistently. Start with one habit. Replace one toxic pattern with one healthy choice. Maybe it's going to bed earlier tonight. Maybe it's choosing to walk instead of scroll. Maybe it's simply speaking kindly to yourself for the very first time. Because mental health isn't built in a day. It's built in the everyday. In the moments you choose peace over pressure, presence over distraction, growth over fear. So let me ask you, which of these bad habits will you choose to break today? Which door to freedom will you step through? If this video inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, not just to support this channel, but as a commitment to yourself, a reminder that your mental health deserves care, deserves love, deserves protection. Remember this always: you are stronger than your habits, you are worthy of peace, and your mind deserves to be free.